And welcome back to Red and Blue. I'm Caitlin Huey-Burns. A growing number of lawmakers are criticizing Congressman-elect George Santos as he comes under fire for allegedly lying about his background. The 34-year-old Republican was elected to represent New York's 3rd congressional district, which includes parts of Long Island, in November. As first reported by the New York Times this week, multiple media outlets, including ours, have found evidence contradicting his job history, education, finances, and genealogy. State Attorney General Letitia announced Thursday that she is opening an investigation into his alleged fabrications. Santos responded on Twitter today, saying in part, "I have my story to tell, and it will be told next week. I want to assure everyone that I will address your questions and that I remain committed to delivering the results I campaigned on." Well, CBS News investigative reporter Erica Brown joins me here in D.C. with more. Erica, good to see you. I know you and I have spent a lot of time together over the past couple of days digging into this. So let's kind of go back to the beginning and kind of get at the basic facts here. What have you found through the reporting in terms of his bio and things that he had claimed that turn out to be not true?
Yeah, and Caitlin, this is a story that's perplexing on so many levels because there are so many inconsistencies about his story. Initially, George Santos said that he grew up in Jackson Heights, Queens, and he worked his way up. He was able to attend Baruch College and NYU and garner degrees in economics and business. Both universities tell CBS News that they have no record of him ever being a student there or earning a degree. He also said that he worked for large corporations like Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, and in Citigroup, he said that he was a regional director. He was in charge of a large project. And Citigroup told CBS News they cannot confirm that he was ever employed by them, working for Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs told CBS News they also cannot confirm. So this story is so perplexing and so odd. And he's facing, as you mentioned, calls to resign from Democrats. And you spoke with Democrat Susan Lerner from Common Cause New York, who says, look, politicians exaggerate details of their resume all the time. But to have so many details put into question, so many inconsistencies is highly unusual. And she and others are calling for a full investigation into his background.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Erica, because she and others have also been telling us that they've just never seen anything like this before. We also spoke to Robert Zimmerman, who, of course, ran against him in the past election. He's a Democrat. Let's play a little bit of our conversation and we'll talk about it.
Whether you're Democrat or Republican is not the issue. We can certainly have our political differences, but we should all be able to feel confidence in respecting the integrity of our public officials. George Santos has violated that confidence. He's demonstrated he's not a public official with any integrity and does not belong in public office.
So that gets at kind of the heart of this, which is that it's not about politics. It's about, being who you said you were. What do you make of kind of the spotlight that's now on him? I mean, this is someone who Republicans were holding up as someone who kind of represented a lot of what they wanted the Republican Party to be.
Right, and he called himself a new generation Republican. Yeah. So he was kind of an anomaly. You have a millennial, a 34-year-old openly gay man who's a first-generation American who was able to flip a blue seat red in a very tight election. He actually won that election by a large margin, 8 points. But yeah, you had someone who was representing this more inclusive and diverse Republican Party who now apparently conflated so many details about his biography, just puts into question who was he. And local Democrats, one said that this is likened to the Netflix series Inventing Anna that dramatized that story about Anna Delvey, because we don't really know the full details about who he is. So CBS News is continuing to investigate as new details are unveiled. We'll report that. But for now, many questions, more questions than answers. And next week, he plans to address many of those.
Yeah, and you mentioned, too, a really important point, which was that he helped Republicans gain the majority in Congress because he flipped that Democratic district. And I think it's notable that Republicans, at least on the congressional leadership level, have been silent. They haven't been addressing this. Kevin McCarthy needs every last vote he can get to become Speaker. So we may just have to wait until they come back in the next Congress to see if there's any repercussions. But going forward, what are some more questions that you have? There are also questions about his finances.
There are questions about his finances. I mean, we've learned about some financial challenges that he's had, but also he had large sums of money that he was able to put into his own campaign. So there are questions about how he was able to get these funds, what was the true source of his income. He's claimed to found a nonprofit tax-exempt organization called Friends of Pets United, which was an animal rescue group. We did our own research on that. The IRS has no record of that organization being a tax-exempt charitable organization, but CBS News has learned that they fundraised and solicited donations for that. So there are a lot of questions about his finances.
And I know you will be on top of it all. Erica Brown, good to see you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.